Okay, so this is the paint mixer that we're gonna build. I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna go through each level right now in the beginning of the episode. So if you clicked on this and you only wanted to see how the paint mixer is constructed, just pause the video here. I'll go through level 1, which is here. This is level 1. Pause the video so you can see what's happening here. Level 2, it looks like this. And then level 3 looks like this. So if you only came here to see how the paint mixer looks, and you want to copy that design, just go back and then pause the video there, and then you could just leave. If you want a more deep understanding of how this works and why this works, then stick around for the rest of the video where I go through like sort of the math and how I figured out how to create these different levels. If that's all you wanted though, just enjoy the paint mixer, and then I'll see you guys later. All right, bye. Okay, welcome back to another episode of Shapez 2 1.0. Now, we're going to check out that factory, that nightmare factory that we made in the previous episode. But before that, I'm noticing a little bit of spaghetti nonsense here, where we're not getting inputs. I believe that is due to, yes, one of the trains is not operational. I think we're getting hung up here as well. So if we just like take like one of these lines, right, probably this one, and then shove it into this lane here, should work itself out, probably, hopefully. We'll do this for now and then wonder why the heck that isn't working later. Probably something like this. What a silly way of doing this. But now we're utilizing all the lanes, so that's fine. For now, this is gonna be fine. I know that factory already is like a big spaghetti situation that we're gonna have to figure out probably today. These guys are all operational, wonderful. Okay, so let's get back to the nightmare zone that we created last time. Here we go. Now, I think that what's happening here is probably some cutter silliness, right? Is what is probably happening. So the way the cutters work is like, if they get jammed up in a certain area, so for example, like what's happening here on this pin pusher, these ones are all getting jammed up that are coming out this side of the machine, right? And they're not being able to move as efficiently as they should, which means that the machine is getting stuck. And since the machine is getting stuck, it can't cut, you know, half of the material, I think. And it kind of looks like it's working now. It's very slow, right? The inputs are like staggering themselves. They're like stopping. A lot of stoppage is happening here. And then this one, for some reason, why is this one so dry? Oh yeah, it's because it's... Wait, what am I looking at here? Dude, even the paint is fitting. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this whole thing is a mess. So we're gonna start optimizing this factory, and I think we're gonna start here at the paint mixing station, and then we're gonna go, and then probably go just like layer by layer and try to fix everything. So we'll probably try to fix the... I think we need like... The comments were saying that we need an overflow splitter for the cutters, so that way they don't get jammed up when they have nowhere to go. Basically what that is it takes extra material that you're not using and it pushes it into a trash bin, so that way you don't get this jam up, this traffic jam of material happening. And then we're gonna go up here, probably fix some of these cutters with overflows, and then we're gonna go over here, and we're probably gonna try to fix these stacking machines. Try to fit like a whole stack around like a 2x1. This is gonna be later on though, probably. For now, we're gonna focus on what I was playing around with in my practice run, which was these paint mixers. So let's see, what do we have going on here? Let's look at this for a second. We have some spaghetti here, where it's going into this pipe, and this top pipe is supplying these guys here at the top level. It's supplying these guys here at this level. And these ones here are supplying the same machines, and then one layer down and one layer down. So this is a mess. How many of these do we have actually? Let's see. 12 here, and we have 24 here. So we're gonna redo this factory. Let's get 2 lines. Let's pull off some of these lines here. Let's pull off some of... We can go this way. And then we'll get some green. And this will just be like our little test facility area. Right? We're gonna need 2 outputs for this, I think. So we'll drag those across later when we have some of our factory to actually test. So let's take a look at the machine that we were looking at, which is this color mixing machine. Now, I think when I originally was doing the math on this, I got it wrong. So if we look at this, if we take a look at the metrics here, we have our input on this side, and we have our output on this side. So the input, if we just pay attention to this liters per minute, we have 450 liters per minute going into this side. And then on the second input, we have 450 liters per minute going into this one. And that's going to output 900 liters per minute from the outside pipe, like the one that's out feeding on this machine, which makes sense when you think about it, because if you think about this in like the ratios of water, if you have like 1 cup of water and you have 1 cup of water, that would give you 2 cups of water. It just looks confusing because it's going out of one pipe, right? 450 plus 450 is 900. That means the input and the output are remaining the same. You're just outputting 2 versions of the same liquid instead of 1 version of one liquid and 1 version of a second liquid, right? So if that is the case, you would have something like this, and then this output would actually be something like this, right? So you have two liquids going in, and then you're gonna have 2 liquids coming out, right? That's how that sort of works, the math. So if we think about that in an instance of all of these, and we drag these guys here. So let's take a look at how many launchers one of these guys can get supplied by. What a horrible way of saying that. This is saying that there's 4 fluid launchers that can supply, or it's saying that like 1 fluid launcher can supply 4 of these machines on the input side per color. So I think what that means is like if you were to take this and then get 4 of them like so, that means that 1 of these fluid launchers would be able to supply all 4 of these machines just fine. So something like this, 1 fluid launcher can supply this, and then equally so, 1 fluid launcher on this side would then be able to supply all of these folks. How the heck? I'm always so confused on how these pipes work. It would have to be something like this, right? The way that the pumps work in this game are like so frustrating sometimes, because you have like, if you have a pipe going up like so, you can't put a pipe in the middle section, right? You're not gonna be able to put a pipe there, which is annoying because that's what I want to do this whole time. So in this instance, we have this pipe coming in from this fluid launcher, and this is creating the color for us. Now on our outfeed side, what this means is this is 450 coming in, this is 450 coming in. So on this side we can get 900 coming out. 450 would be one of these fluid launchers, and 450 is one of these fluid launchers. So 950 would be 2 fluid launchers on the back end. So these ones can all combine into one and then shoot out the liquid into these 2 fluid. So this whole section, this in terms of math should be 100% efficiency, I believe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure like these 4 are now working at peak efficiency with just the 1 fluid launcher, right? Like 1 here, and then it's outputting 2 total. So here and here. So the question then becomes, how many of these do we need to fully fulfill the duties of all of these fluid launchers, right? So we have 4 for 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 12. So we have 12 total inputs for 1 color and 12 total inputs for the second color. And that means we're gonna have 24 outputs for the outfeed color, right? So we're gonna have something like this, something like this. So we're gonna be fully utilizing both. We're gonna be fully utilizing both outputs and both inputs because they should be equal. If we have 24 coming in, then 24 should be going out, right? That makes sense? So if that is the case, then we have these 4. How many could like 1 floor supply? We combine those into 1, that could supply like 4, 8, 16 total. So let's see here. Let's remove some of this because we're gonna need the space. I just wanted to do that for demonstration purposes. If we have this, that's 4, 8, 12, and 16. Right, that makes sense. 16, this cluster would supply one level of input. And then if you had like this doubled, right, that would supply level 2. This would supply level 3. Now, how would we get... Question is, how do we get like the inputs into this, right, the pipes? Because we know that we can't like elevate and then hook up another one to this or to that, just due to the way that these vertical pumps work in this game. You can't have like an offshoot coming out. And if we look at the pipes, if we take a look at the throughput of the pipes, we have infinite throughput here, which I think means that if you have all of your pipes connected, then all of the liquid should flow through one like mainline pipe, right? So if you were to take a look at, how would I do this? Connecting that guy, and then you can connect that guy, something like this, where you have this like snake section, where all of the inputs are funneling into one pipe, something like this, which means that if we pull this all the way across, and then do the same treatment to these 12 pipes, see if this works here, and then like so. Now if we put this in, that means the throughput of these inputs, they should all go in at the exact same time, and they should all jump out at the exact same time, right? Because now we're just limited by the pumps. Okay, this is problematic because we have the Scion on there. So let's go here. Okay, now we have completely open launchers. So let's test this again, see if our theory works. So they should all jump out at the same time, and they should fill up that whole row. Yes, so we have like 4 on this one, we have 4 on this one, and 4 on this one. Each level of the pipe is getting filled with the globs of liquid uniformly, which is what we want on the output side for this factory, right? So that is the case. Remove this line. If that's the case, what we can do is like have one main line on the back end, right? So you imagine something like this, like so, and then you have one main line here. Infinite throughput means that these guys are gonna get, as long as they're supplied with the output liquid, these guys should all be uniformly pumping out the fluid into the space pipes, right? And we don't want to do that here on this side of the machine because we don't want to mix our paint into one. I don't even know if you can mix the paint into one. Can you do that? Like this? Okay, no, you can't. Now the blue is just blocking up the green. Okay, let's build something similar on this side of the machine as well. Something like this. Wonderful. Okay, so now we have the correct number of machines that we need, and now we have a main pipeline for input number 1 and a main pipeline for input number 2. Now we just need to figure out a way to weave these pipes into these machines in a way that does not prioritize using the fluid launchers, because I don't know if this was messing me up last time as well, but since the fluid launchers don't have infinite throughput, they have like a limit. I don't know if that was screwing up the original design platform that we've created for the color mixers. So I think instead of having 3 stack here, maybe we can do like a 2 stack and a 2 stack. So like, let's get rid of these. Take this and then maybe create something like this. I feel like these outputs are going to be in the way though. Huh. What we can do is like, I guess we can just try to fit this together right now. Like if you were to have this as your blue input, but you can't really lift that up though, right? Without immediately creating a pump. What we could do is utilize like the third space though, since these things stack on top of each other pretty good and proper. Let's see here. Just get rid of all of this actually. So if we were to imagine this, we would need to go up here, right? And then I'm trying to think, there's a way to get like a full pipe going like this that could supply like both of them. Oh, something like this, maybe. And then where would you connect? We could have a situation where we get all those first. If we put like these guys here, so the outputs are closer to the outputs, right? And then we have these guys here. Output's very close to this though if we do it this way, which might be, maybe that's fine. We do it like this. So I'm thinking like if you had like a main pipe going through the center here that supplies the ones that it needs. So like something like this. And then for example, if we had this going on, right, that would supply those machines. And then if you had that same, I'm trying to think of how to do, I think we can squeeze a pipe into that actually. So if we like lifted this and then put it here and then came back down. Yes. So now we can connect it in like so. Okay. Makes sense, right? And then from the same pipe, what we could do is like lift it here to these ones. Oops. Something like this. Okay, are you with me? And then if we had another pipe that could connect to the other output. So it would be like this pipe here would have to be fluid number 1, I believe. This one here could be fluid number 2, and it's alternating which inputs they need to use. Interesting. So we did something like this, and then if we did another one of these pipes going through the machine, connecting to everything like so, then this pipe is also going to connect to the bottom ones, like so. Okay, I think that works, right? Let's check if that like actually supplies the machines that we need. So let's say if blue is going to be this guy's main pipe here, that supplies half of the machine. And if we have green going into this one here, like so, going into that and into that. Okay, so I think this works now. And how many is this? This is 8, 16. So this cluster would supply 2 rows of output, right? I think. How do we get the fluid out? Probably just like this way. Something like this. Connect that up. And we can connect this up probably to there. Something like this. It's running at less than peak efficiency, just due to the volume getting separated between all 24 of these outputs. But I think the math for this little section is correct, right? Now the question is, can we get this like cleaner? Can we squeeze this more together? This looks like a bunch of SpaghettiOs. Pipelines everywhere. So what if we like remove these, and then we remove this, and this, and this. I wonder if we can have like just one main pipe in the middle for the green color, instead of having this tangled underneath the thing. Also, we might be able to tangle these guys if we alternate them. Let's just restart. I think this works though. I think this is working. So let's go with these guys again. Of inputs on the same section, like so. And then we can have the inputs on that section. And then when we lift up, what we can do, so you see how the inputs or the outputs now are like alternating. So we can probably hook this one down and then hook this one up into the same pipe. Does that make sense? We have like 4 of them directly on top. And then we had a flipped version of that. And then 4 of these directly on top. Okay, something like this. Now if we have just like the 3 main, imagine these are like the main pipes, right? So we'll do a main pipe here. And then directly above that, we will do a main pipe here. And then directly above that, we'll do a main pipe here. And then what we can do is like, this one can go here. Every other one can connect to this top pipe. And then this one can connect to that one. Does that work? Oh, look. Okay. Now we created like a fork sort of in the center of this pipe. So let's just do that for all of these inputs. So we'll go like this, we'll go like this, we'll do this. We'll come down and do one of these and some of these. And since we've alternated, or since we have these ones coming up into this pipeline here, what we can do is on the bottom side, so like these pipes down here, we'll just have them coming straight up into this one. Okay, does that make sense? So like this pipeline here in the center is feeding both the top and the bottom machines through one input, and then the top pipeline is going to feed just the top machines, and then the bottom pipeline is going to feed just the bottom machines. So like this for the bottom one, and then this middle one can go here to here, like so, and like so. Okay, so this should work now, right? If we have, let's see here, this bottom pipeline and this top pipeline both need to be the same fluid color. So let's just say that this one is like, let's say the middle one is like green, maybe. Okay, perfect. And then let's say that this one then is blue. How would I get that over here? Or maybe we can come in from the back, like so. Okay, wonderful. So that should be supplying perfectly our machines. Our top is getting the top pipe. Middle sections are getting the middle pipe is supplying the top and the bottom machines. And then the bottom pipe is only supplying the bottom machines. Okay, this makes sense. Okay, now, due to having the infinite throughput, like I said, I believe if we stack this, if we take this cluster and create 3 more versions of it, like down the line here, we should be able to just get all of them satisfied with one main pipe coming through, I think. Let me think about the output, actually, now that we're looking at this, because I'm realizing that I don't have a pipe here. What we can do here is, of course, we can just shoot them over, right? But I think it would kind of look a little bit more fun if we, like, curled them down. If you went, like, if you brought this up and then had like, a pipe in the center here. That's pretty cool, right? I don't want that, though. Yeah, I want one of these. The elbows. Yeah, like this. Then we can, like, alternate them, right? Okay, something like this. And then we'll do the same on the backside. Yeah, this makes sense, because then we're not gonna, like... I mean, we could just, like, pull a line, but I think it's more fun to do it this way. Go this way. Oops. Go this way. Where the heck? You into there. You into there, I think. Looks like this wall is, like, right in my freaking way. There we go. There we go. And then this one's gonna go up, I believe. This one's gonna go up. This one is gonna go up. Okay. And then connecting those. How'd that work? Guess we don't need this on this side of it, right? Connect them. We can just, like, go out and then over. Like this. Maybe. Like so. Okay. So now our outputs are in one line, which is good. Okay. Now let's test this. So this machine cluster is taking in, like, one... I mean, it's taking in everything, but if we were to just calculate how many machines can be supplied by how many fluid launches, right? These 4, 8, 60 machines would get supplied by one level. So one level here, which means on the output side, it should be able to fully shoot out 2 full levels. So imagine without that and without that. So we should be able to just shoot out the entire bottom level. Right, let me cut this so that way it empties those ones. That way we can get a good view and metric of seeing if this actually works. So we can go down and then connect this. It should be level 1. We are getting 4 globs each. This one might be a little bit faster because it was slightly closer. We are getting 4 globs, 4 globs, 4 globs, 4 globs. So this is perfect. This is exactly what we were looking for. Now what we can do here is remove this. Oh, we'll keep that line, but we'll remove this for now. We'll connect back these lines, like so and like so. Like so. And then what we could probably do is just, like, take a copy of this and then just stack it next to each other a whole bunch of times, I believe. So if we were to take all of this, like so, copy it, right next to each other, that probably works, right? And then right next to each other. We gotta make sure that our lines are actually connected. So let's go into this view. So this bottom line we want to keep as one main line that fuels everything. Maybe the input can be there. And then on this end, we want to have this middle line also fuel everything. So we'll connect these two. Okay, this all makes sense. And then on this end, we want to have this top line. Wonderful. Okay, now we just need to figure out where to put our inputs and where to put our outputs. So I see that the blue one probably wants to go here, right? But then also the blue one wants to go up here. That's how we had it. I think the best way to do this, we just come straight out and then up, and then this line here can connect to the blue. Okay, everything turned on. That looks good. And we'll do the same sort of thing on this side, but with the green, I believe. Should be pretty simple, right? Because the green is, like, right here. So if we take... is this symmetrical? I kind of want to scooch this over a little bit. we take this and then scooch it more centered on the platform. Okay, so this is fully supplying our machine. Now this one can go into this pipe action here. Probably just like drop this to the ground and then go here. Okay, wonderful. So now we're getting our green in and our blue in. Now, are we getting our mixers mixing is the question. Trying to make sure that this works. Aha. Okay. Okay, so our output now is this line here. What we could do is like maybe connect this line to this, or we have this main line here. It's connecting them all. We could connect it on this side as well, just in case something happens. I don't know what, but like that, right? Now, do you think we can connect that? This is the output feed. This one is the output feed. So maybe if we just lift this up and then bring it here. Oh no, we can't do that. So we need to pull it out by like 1, right? And then lift here. And then we can do the same on this side, I think. Does this looks symmetrical? This kind of looks symmetrical, right? It's hard to make symmetry happen in instances where you're tangling pipes all together one by one. Okay, so I think everything is set up now. Everything is like nice and hooked up. Everything is all very nice and clean. So let's take a look. Let's remove... What if it's smart if I just remove these and then reconnect them? Or if I like take this, cut it here. So this thing works. If we paste it back in this, after we clear these contents, oh, well, we can just send these down a little bit. That way we can get a measurement of output just based on if the lanes are getting full of the material. Take this and then drop it here. So what we should see is the machine's filling up and then mixing. And then hopefully when the machines are outputting the fluid, they should fill up, you know, 4 on each of these lanes. So it would be like 4, 4, 4, and then 4, 4, 4. Right, that makes sense. So if we go and copy this again, and then go here. So let's take a look at our magic. Okay, we are mixing. Our reservoirs are full. We are currently mixing. And then it should output material. Okay, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. This is actually kind of a weird color to use, so let's try to find a different color. Well, we can let this one cook actually for now, and then we can just bring this over to something that makes a little bit more sense to visually see. Maybe like this red and green. But here we go with our number 2 test. Just testing to see if the actual throughput of this new design is working properly. So we'll put this one on here. It should fill up, mix up, launch, and Bob's your uncle, right? In theory. If I've done my math correctly on this design, it should work that way. Let's see. All right, green and red are both going in. We are filling our reservoirs, as we can see here. And now, once these are good, our mix is happening and our output is happening. And we are getting 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, perfect. So this is like a very nice design that looks really uniform. We can see everything that's happening, right? Because the fluid is like filling up these liquids, and using the beauty of like utilizing one main pipe out of this means that you don't have to have crazy nonsense spaghetti. So like if we take a look at the previous factory, we look at this one compared, right? We have like all of these weird pipes tangled up with each other because we're trying to go from like one level to the top level, one level to the second level, and then one level to the first level. Even though we could have like mingled these pipes all together into one huge main pipe instead of having this crazy mess, now we just have like one main pipe that's supplying everything down the line. And then we just have these like small offshoots that are like, okay, now you're going to this machine, you're going to this machine. And then down here we have like one main red pipeline all the way through the thing. And we have, you know, it's going to all of the machines independently with a very short span, right? So to me, I think this makes sense. This looks good. I don't really have a whole lot of time to record, so I think I might just leave it at this for now. And then in the next episode, actually, let's just save this. We'll save this now as a paint mixer. We'll do like version 2. And then what was the paint mixer symbol? Something like all the colors. We can put that in our blueprints, in our paint blueprints. We'll take our color mixer number 1, put it in old because we're not going to use that anymore. I like to keep I don't like to delete my blueprints. I like to have like an archive file or folder that way I can go back and iterate on my previous designs if I needed to. This is how I do it at work too, where I have like an archive folder. This actually should probably be able to archive. My archive folder is typically usually always at the top. And then this is all stuff that I've previously done, and this is all the working stuff that I'm working on. So Paint Mixer version 2, this is freaking great. I think this is like the correct way to cluster these guys in for 24 input and then 24 output, right? That makes sense. Okay, so I think this looks good. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of time to record today, so I'm going to cut the video here. We'll apply this design to the factory in the next video, and then in the next one we'll also take a look at probably optimizing the overflow to cutter designs, and also I think we're probably just gonna tear this whole thing down and redo it, man, because this is like a mess. Everything is so poorly optimized. I didn't count any of this, but that'll be for a later day. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you learned something about how to use these color mixers. If anybody was confused, because these things confused the crap out of me when I first started doing it, but now I think I have a better understanding. In my practice run, I kind of made a similar build to this. It just wasn't as squeezed together. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all on the next one. Yeah. Have a good night or day or whatever, breakfast.